Thank you for joining us on TRP Live, a program created by the Reclamation Project, the folks who believe in no soul left behind. It was started to have candid discussions on real issues that impact people and to showcase stories that edify the Christian journey, like today. So, welcome. I am your host, Stan Mackey. Now, after graduating from high school, adult life began with losing her dear grandmother and then becoming her grandfather's caretaker for what would become an 8-year journey. Still, she managed to complete a 4-year degree, work, sing in the choir that toured, train in acting, and audition for parts. And if that wasn't enough as a load for one person, when her mother had an injury a year ago, she took care of her too. And I just discovered that she is also taking care of her father. My goodness gracious, she is just doing it all. So, tonight we're going to speak with Bria Johnson, actress Bria Johnson. And so, without further ado, I want to welcome her. Welcome her. Bria, hello. How are you? Uh-oh, you can't hear me? Let's see. Test test one. Um okay. Say something now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Bria? Let's see. Can you hear me? No?
Can't hear you.
Um okay. I can hear you. Um so let's see here. Let me just double check. Let me see. I've got everything seems to be on. Well, I see somebody who's in the in the thread that I know. Sam, if you don't mind sharing with me, can you hear? Can you hear both of us? Can you just shoot me with a response in the thread? Uh, Hang on one
Still
minute,
can't
Bria.
hear you.
Okay, so let me. I'm going to text you. So sometimes we have these technical difficulties. Let's see. We can hear you. Can you jump out and back in again? Okay. All right. Check your Bria. Check your phone. Check your phone. Thanks for that, Sam. So I just text her to jump back out and jump back in. Thank you, though. We could actually hear both of you, but for some reason she is not able to hear me. So let's see if getting her back in the broadcast will take care of that. Well, I thank everybody for joining us tonight. I just think that Bria has just quite an awesome tale, and I won't. I'm not at liberty to share her age. I'll just say that she is much younger than me, and she's doing all of this stuff long before I could have done all of it. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
And we can hear you too. All right, come on.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So you just heard the intro. I just talked to our viewers a little bit more about just all these things that you're doing. Why don't you want to just take us back a little bit from the beginning and just tell us where your journey began? Because as far as I'm concerned, that's like you just entered adult life. I mean, you're a relatively recent grad from high school, and now you have to grieve, you have to mourn the loss of your grandmother, but on top of that, now you're taking care of your grandfather. So you want to just kind of take us back?
Yes. So it was my senior year in high school. My grandmother passed away, and she passed away before I graduated. So it's before
Okay.
prom, before graduation, and it was crazy because we were talking about prom, and she was so excited and seeing me off and seeing me graduate, and she passed away suddenly. And at that moment, my world completely stopped. This was a woman
Yeah.
that I've seen every day. She took care of me, and just like that, she was gone. And at that moment, I really felt like giving up. I didn't, I wasn't feeling school at the time. Um, and I was just really having a really, really rough time. And thank God for a praying mother and a praying
Yes.
family.
Yes. Yes.
My mom told me, you cannot quit. Your grandmother is
Hmm.
watching you. She wouldn't want you to, give up. She's watching you. She's there with you. And that was what I needed to, you know, push forward. And about a couple years after she passed, so right after high school, I didn't have the grades to go to the university that all of my friends were going to. So I opted in going to community college. And while I was in community college, my grandfather fell ill in 2012, and things immediately changed for me. Um, I had to work my
Yeah.
schedule around taking care of him. My mom and I took care of him for 8 years. So
Did you know? Did you know that acting and being on stage was something that you wanted to do from high school? Were those your early aspirations?
yes,
So
actually.
everything.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Actually, from a little kid, my parents introduced me to the arts. They exposed me to the arts at a really young age. I can remember sitting watching The Wiz with my mom and Lady Sings the Blues and watching Jackie Chan movies with my dad. And as I got older, my mom introduced me to Broadway. She took me to see The Lion King. And when I was 13, she took me to see The Color Purple. And that
Mm.
changed my life. The Color Purple changed my life. It inspired me, and I wanted to know how to do that. And
Wow.
but I was terribly shy as a child, terribly, terribly shy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how those two mix, being on
Yeah.
stage as a professional and being shy, but somehow you managed to get past that. So now we know that those were your early aspirations. So from the very beginning, you knew that that's what you wanted to do. And so now you have this situation that's thrown in your lap. Did you immediately think that they were thrown away? What's your mindset? Give us a look into your mind at this point. You've got to take care of your grandfather, still mourning the loss of your grandmother, but you've got these big aspirations. What are you thinking at this point?
Um, I was just honestly really thinking about taking care of him at the moment. I knew that acting was something that I wanted to do, and I would take workshops here and there when I got a chance to. But for most of my days, I really spent my time going to classes and in between time coming back home, fixing him meals. And that's what my life revolved around was him. But every time I got the opportunity to take workshops, I made sure that I signed up for all the workshops that I could. And I was like a sponge
Hmm.
and just wanted to learn and grasp everything because I didn't go to a performing arts school. I didn't have any background in it. I just know that was, something that I wanted to do.
Got it, got it. So you're going to workshops, but you're also taking classes because you're enrolled in school. And so were you working as well? Did you
Mhm.
did you hold you at this point? So you're holding a job as well?
No,
Okay.
I was taking care of him full time, taking care of my grandfather full time.
Got it.
Yeah, going
So
and mhm.
So how do you deal with this? How do you reconcile all of this? You've got your grandfather who's now become a priority, but you still haven't lost desire to want to be on stage? Obviously, because you're taking courses, you're going to workshops rather, every opportunity you get. How do you reconcile that? What's keeping you going? What's keeping you on track?
Keeping me on track, I grew up in the church. My grandmother took me to church every Sunday. Sunday school, I was in the youth choir. And, I didn't understand it then. I was just like, "Oh, why do I have to go?" And
Hmm.
looking back on it, it helped me get through all of these hard times. Um, if I don't go to church during the week, my week feels off. If I'm not singing in the choir, I don't feel right. And, every Sunday when I would go sing in the choir, it would draw me closer to God. Kept me drawing
Wow.
kept me going back to him, yeah.
Okay, so singing was a way of giving you strength, taking your mind off of things. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about singing. So I understand that you've performed or you've sung at Carnegie Hall. So this is not
Yes.
lightweight stuff. Not everybody gets invited to do that. Tell us a little bit about your singing and travels.
Right. Um, so my, church choir is a part of, well, the North Jersey, Baptist Association,
Okay.
and, one of the musical directors got an opportunity to, work with, Ray Chu, and who is the musical director for Dancing with the Stars. And, he wanted him to put together a 200 voice choir, and, I just thought that was an amazing, amazing opportunity to, it was like a master class,
Yeah.
So my mom is in the choir, a lot of my church members are in the choir, and that was actually my first time at Carnegie Hall. So we've done it, I think at least 3 years we've done it, and got to sing behind some amazing artists, Donnie McClurkin, Richard Smallwood, Yolanda Adams, Kurt
Well,
Carr,
gets no
BB
better than
Winans,
that.
just to name a few. Right.
Wow, it
Yeah.
gets no better than that. What voice do you sing, by the way?
I sing soprano.
Come on, soprano. All right now, keeping it high. Keep taking
Yes.
it up higher. Love it, love it.
Definitely.
So you've got singing. So meanwhile, what's going so you're managing all of this and your mom and you and your mom are tag teaming, but she's also singing in the choir with you.
Mhm.
So how difficult was that?
Some days it was really, really difficult. Um, some days we didn't know how we were going to manage, but we stayed prayed up and we always stayed with a positive attitude. I can admit it wasn't always easy, but
Hmm.
we just held on to our faith. Really, really held on
Yes,
to our faith.
yes, yes. So let's go ahead and walk through some of those some of those 8 years. Eventually, you keep persevering, and you graduate,
Mhm.
and you don't just graduate. Tell
Yes.
us what you come on, share with us. Tell the folks about this graduation.
I graduated. Yes. So after I finished at community college, I decided to go to Kane University in Union, New Jersey for theater. And I graduated with honors.
Come on now,
Um,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what we were getting
yeah,
to right there. With
yes,
honors.
yes, yes.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So you graduate with honors. Can you share with us what your degree is in?
Yes, my degree is in theater performance.
Come on, theater performance. And so you are an
Hmm.
all professional in theater.
Yes,
So
yes.
you got your degree. You're still taking care of that. So by this time, how many years in are you? By the time you graduate, with taking years in the eight of taking care of grandpa.
I believe I was in year seven. I was in year
Wow,
seven. Hmm.
wow. So you
And
persevered.
Yes, and he was getting worse over the by that time he was getting worse.
Okay. So tell me about Grandpa. You were sharing with me when we spoke a little bit earlier about how much he meant to you, because I know many people will listen to this and they'll say, "Well, you're the grandchild, and why is the grandchild in the place of doing so much with being the caretaker, rather than you know someone else, whether a parent or for many." Now I know a lot of folks uh, who look like me have a problem with that place that older folks call the rest home. But it would have been understandable if that's at least in the minds of people looking from the outside in, if that had been a decision. But this obviously was not a decision. I have to say you had a part in playing that because you spent 8 years doing it. So you obviously played a part in that. What can you share with that situation, and why? What did Grandpa do to earn such love like that from you?
Yes, my grandfather was there, every step of the way, in my life, and he was the one that would always get up on Saturday mornings and call me and like, "You want some pancakes and you want some bacon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, grandpa." And he enjoyed it. He enjoyed coming to every event that I had. He enjoyed fixing me breakfast. He enjoyed taking me to and from school. Whatever he could do, he enjoyed and loved doing it. And so when he got ill, I just thought, I said, I have to pay it back. I couldn't just let him, go to a nursing home, and I couldn't see. I felt like that's what I had to do. That's what he deserved. The best care and the best love.
So, Bria, if you had done that for 3, 4 years, I mean, 5 years max, I mean, in the minds of I believe most reasonable minded people, they would say, "You have done awesome. That's tremendous. You would have been commended for that." But look at
Thank
how long you've gone. Were there points along the way where you maybe weren't sure whether you'd be able to continue pressing on, or were you always determined that however long it takes, I'm here?
Uh, there were times where, our my grandfather and I's relationship had changed since he had gotten ill. He couldn't walk anymore. And, he would be in so much pain, so he would be irritable and started getting mean. And, I
Mhm.
just had to remember it was because of the pain that he was in. And,
Yeah.
sometimes I just had to go take a breather and come back, and it was not easy. Not easy. Some days I felt like, throwing in the towel. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Okay, so you are normal. So you did
Mhm.
experience some of that. I mean,
Yes,
listen,
yes.
at the end of the day, you completed 8 years. Oh my goodness. But okay, so you are normal. I'm thinking though, you put up such a sacrifice. How did this impact your social life? Would you feel free to share some of that? How did it impact your social life? Were you still able to
Yes.
maintain?
Uh, it was very hard to maintain. Because most of the time when I spent most of the day with him, I was always tired and wanting to go to bed early, and my friends were like, "You don't wanna hang out?" And, I don't they didn't really understand. And they were like, "You need time for yourself. You need to just take time for yourself." And I was like, I will." But it was really, really difficult. You know, I lost relationships and everything because of it, but
Mhm.
it was worth it in the end. I felt like I did my duty, to my
Yes,
family.
yeah. Well, I want to tell you that it's noble, it's admirable, it's inspirational. Just the love that you showed, Grandpa. And again, this is a young age. I mean, we can all do the math. You're in your 20s doing this. This is the time when so many believe that this is your opportunity to go out and do what you want and have all the freedoms. But you
Yes.
are you are responding to a higher calling, to take care of your grandfather. So I know that it's been, now we're approaching a year, um, since he passed, and now
Hmm.
you have more opportunity, more time now, to do what you want and to pick up where you left off with those aspirations. Share with us now where you are in that journey.
Yes. Since then, I've been auditioning, and right now I'm a part of a YouTube series called Pressure, by Favorite Entertainment. Um, and it's been great. I've been having a lot of opportunities. I joined the sorority, aka Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
All
Um,
right, all right.
so yes. So I just so it's new opportunity, a new chapter. Um, and we had to stop filming though, because of the quarantine. But
COVID. Okay.
yes, but I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm waiting to get back to work.
Waiting to get back to work. All right. So in the meantime, there's still some things that you can do. What are you doing in the interim, while you wait on the call to go start shooting again?
I've been taking some master classes. This is a perfect
Master
opportunity.
class.
A lot of celebrities are doing acting master classes. So I had an opportunity to do an actor's master class with Taraji P. Henson.
Wow.
I had an opportunity to do a master class with Richard Lawson. And just
Hmm. Hmm.
taking all the opportunities. I'm always willing to learn and
Hmm.
stay sharp on my craft.
Love it. Love it. Love it. How do you? How has, I know you shared a little bit earlier that singing was a part of your outlet, being able to just use that to eliminate distractions, kind of bring your stress level down, a little getaway. How's your relationship now with God, and how has that played a part? I know you talked about your praying mother who continues to pray for you, I'm certain. What can
Yes,
you
yes.
share with us about your God, about your good God?
Uh, he's been amazing through it all. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like through all, my relationship with him has gotten stronger. Um, I have gotten better at praying and making sure that I stay connected with him. Um,
Hmm.
and he's just awesome. He's just amazing. He really, really is amazing.
So you've got a lot of young people who, if not watching now, will eventually see this episode. What advice can you hear? Because could you give them? Because you know you've just done so much, I believe, that serves as an example to how we as believers, as followers of Christ, i.e., Christians, should behave, should act. Um, what can you share with them? Because you've gone through trials, but you persevered, and um, you're now starting to reap the benefits of that hard work. But what would you say to a group of young people who are listening and have heard your story?
Uh, God will not put more on you than you can bear.
Mm,
Sometimes it may seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but trust me, there is. If you stay
mm,
prayed up, you go to church, you just have that connection with God. He will he will give you the right path. He will show you the way.
got it, got it. Love it, love it, love it. Now I'm gonna ask something that's gonna this is more in the future. It's gonna compel you to make some projections. So we've got this. We've got this individual. You may or may not have heard of him, Devon Franklin. Uh, yes, would you say yes? Devon
Yes, I
Franklin,
have. Yes.
who is
Hmm.
a. I thought you would. Who is a devout, staunch Christian. He does not um, compromise his beliefs, and he hasn't suffered as a result. He has prospered um, as a result. Have you thought about how what will become your legacy eventually as you move deeper and deeper into Hollywood? One, have you given thought to, okay, I need people to know that I am this kind of person, and no, I cannot be used and abused. That's number one. And two, what would you like for your how would you like for people to perceive you um, in Hollywood and on film, on screen?
Um,
And you take time to
so
think because I know I just hit you.
yes, 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 yes. Um, well, why I truly wanted to become an actor was to help others. And so I guess that's always been calling to help others. So if I can help someone escape their reality for just a little bit or help them get through a situation in any of my characters that they see on screen, then I have done my job as an actor. And that's truly what I believe that my calling is to help to help others. So I hope that if anybody sees me on screen, they will see themselves, relate, and be able to get through whatever it is they're going through.
Nice, nice. Okay, all right. Um, is there okay? How about your legacy? What do you how do you want to be how do you want to be remembered?
Mm,
If you didn't share yeah, more
wow.
specifically, yeah, how would you like to be remembered? And I know you're just getting started, so it's kind of hard for
Yeah.
you to say that now. But sometimes, I guess it's helpful to like start thinking now about how you want to remember it so that you can plot your course and start out in that direction. What do you want to
Wow.
be? How do you want to be remembered? Because you've got plenty who have gone before you. Whether we talk about the Cicely Tysons, the Dorothy
Mm.
Dandridge, and then move further. Oh my goodness. What's my girl from Waiting to Exhale? How can I not remember her? I know you
Angela
know who I'm talking
Bassett.
about. Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yes,
Angela
yes, yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Meryl Streep's. You've got all these wonderful actresses who just do their thing on screen. Um, but how would you like to be remembered?
Hmm.
Maybe while you think
Wow.
about that, let me help you out just a little bit. Maybe this will help
Mhm.
you out. When you get full fledged into your acting, um, there's going to be downtime. There are going to be times where you get to do things in the community, get to do things that are away from the screen, away from the camera. Like you see the Angelina Jolie who does things with kids, whether in Africa or in Asia, dealing with poverty. What do you think is going to be your gig, your thing that your passion when you're off camera? Maybe that'll help with answering your
I
legacy.
y- yes. I would just say continuing in the church, ministering to the
Mm.
youth in the church and any young actors or, to be a mentor to the young people and trying to find their way or their path in the world of the arts. I think that would be something that I would love to do.
So are you doing that now? How are you? How do you work with or what's your favorite thing to do with the youth? Whether it's choir or I don't know, Bible study, teaching, hanging out, social activities. What gives you the most joy when you're interacting with them?
Uh, just I just hanging out with them or just talking with them, giving them words of advice or words of encouragement.
Did you have
Yeah.
that when you were coming up, when you were younger? Did you have this someone that you could call by name? You don't have to, but someone that comes to mind that you say, you know what, this person when I was a youth, high school, middle school, whenever. Wow, I love it. Thank you, God, for having this person there because they either made church a greater joy for you, and then they served as that village, that extension of your family. For is there someone that comes to mind when you think about growing up?
There are a lot of people that have poured into me.
Mm.
It's hard to name one specific person, but a lot of people
That's
have poured.
awesome.
Yes, yes, yes. I have a very close-knit family, and the village has poured into me.
Awesome. So then I see, so I can see now where you're a little bit reluctant. Okay, what area can I work
Yeah.
in? It sounds like you're giving back now to the youth would kind of be all encompassing. You want to be able to counsel or mentor young people at your church.
Yes. Hmm.
That'd be a good characterization. All right, all
Yes.
right. What advice do you have? I don't think I asked this specifically for young people who are wanting to take the same path as you. What advice would you give them?
Stay prayed up. It is not an easy path. You will have people that doubt you, but as long as you know what you're capable of, then you should be fine. If you work towards it, and number one, keep God on your side.
Okay. All right. Here's a question, and I think people are always interested in, or at least people who have had some familiarity, who like the arts, who like performing arts. Which do you prefer, stage or film? Which
Mm.
one you like it live, or do you like being able to take it in scenes and cut and start all over?
Ah, they're both two different beasts actually. So it was challenging for me to actually go from stage to film. Stage is really, really big, and film, you have to, bring it in. And so, hmm, I love them both equally.
That's a good
Um,
answer.
yeah, I love them both equally. I can say the most challenging for me has been film.
Really?
Yes, to try to come from the theater world because I had my degree in theater and trying to go over into the film world, it was a bit challenging.
Wow. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of familiarity. I've done some small stuff, really small stuff, high
Hmm.
school and some extra work. But I tend to think most of my stuff was in theater in high school. Um, I don't know. My thought is that stage has got to be harder because you can't afford to mess up. Everything is on the
True.
fly. It's live. It's like it. But that's just what I'm thinking. You know better because you've been doing more now, and
Hmm.
so you obviously see the challenges of working in film. Do you think the challenge is greater because you're just transitioning because you've done one thing for so long and now you're moving to something new and you're making adjustments? Is that maybe where you say that the greatest challenge is in that?
Yes, and
Okay.
on screen, everything is about, the face and looking believable, and it's challenging. Getting all of those emotions out is can be challenging on screen.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I do have some more questions, but I'm gonna go to our audience who are listening in. Just want you to see some of this. So you got support here, but we've got people from different
Wow.
places that are joining. Come on now. We've got a question that has come in that I want you to answer, and here it is.
Hmm.
Here. I don't remember getting this when we were talking beforehand. So you want to tell us a little bit about this? You do a one woman show?
Uh, no, no, I haven't done a one woman show though.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. Maybe that was just a
Yeah.
little yeah, yeah, enticement for you to share a little bit more. So tell us about your so when you did stage, when you did performing arts, were any of those monologues? So now that the phrase, the concept one woman show has been brought out, any of your performances were monologues or soliloquy? So I'm
Well,
trying to
I
figure out.
actually, so I won an award, um, in my, I believe it was my senior year in high school. I actually won an award, for AXO, which was the competition, for drama. And out of the state of New Jersey, I won a bronze medal for doing a monologue from A Raisin in the Sun.
Oh wow.
Um, so I think that was, yeah, that's
Uh, yeah,
the only performance I can
yeah.
think of that.
No, that's awesome. Monologues are difficult. It's just you. It's like when preachers stand in front of a
Yes,
camera without a church audience during COVID, which I've heard is like one of the most challenging things
yes.
that they've had to do. That's awesome, and you took home the bronze. So here's another question coming in.
Hmm.
So what about this series? What can you share with us about this the series that you're
So
on?
it's about a young woman who just received some really big news that she has to share with her boyfriend, and he's going through some own things in his own life. And me, I play the supporting best friend named Tasha, and I'm kind of like her word of reason, her
Mm.
yeah, I'm that best friend, the loud, obnoxious best friend. Um, but
Nice.
yeah, that's about all I can share with right now. But if you check it out
Okay, got
on
it.
YouTube, yeah.
On YouTube, got it.
Hmm.
So YouTube is doing this thing just like I believe we could say Amazon and Netflix. There now they've got their own collection of series. So how do people get it? So they can't just get it by going to YouTube direct, right? Or do they? Is it a premium subscription service? Okay,
No,
it
no,
is.
no. You can just go right on YouTube and type in favorite entertainment pressure. And
Okay,
we
got
have 2 episodes out so far right now.
got it, got it. All right, pressure, pressure. We can kind of surmise from the title um, what it's about a little bit, but thank you for sharing
Yes,
that much. I know you can't go into detail. Everybody's got that
yes,
non-disclosure agreement
yes,
in place. So at some
yes,
point,
yes.
are you gonna need to come West Coast? So we always I always talk about this to my East Coast people. Hey, if doing the cakewalk is something you want to do, New York is your spot. If you want to do movies, television, LA is your likely place. Are you gonna
Definitely.
are you gonna need to move?
Uh, Probably. I have family out on the West Coast,
Do you?
so I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
You don't mind? Have you been out here yet? Have you visited?
I yes, but not for work. But I have visited, yes.
Okay. What part did you visit, if I might ask?
Um Oakland and
SoCal.
Richmond.
Okay, you
Hmm.
came to the
Oakland.
Bay. All right, all
Hmm.
right. I'm in the Bay Area right now, but I'm from LA, so I always get excited when I talk about my home. So I
Yes.
knew at some point you're gonna have to come to LA. LA, I think you'll. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I love LA. It's so much fun to do there. Lots of excitement. Wow, Bria, what do you have any final thoughts, party thoughts that you would like to share? Actually, before I do that, I want to invite those who are tuning in to post some questions for Bria before we let her go tonight because it is kind of late. She's East Coast, so it is 3 hours up.
Yes.
But yeah, if you have any questions, please post those so we can get to it. But would you share with us just some of your final thoughts? Do you have
Uh,
you don't have a monologue you can give us, do you? That's putting you on the
no, I
spot.
don't have any monologue at this time.
That's all right. I just thought I'd check. I just thought I'd check. But
Yeah,
final
but
thoughts.
I appreciate the opportunity. I really, really appreciate the love and the support. And I just can't wait for you guys to see, me in the future. And I just thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Bria. I think you went out just a little bit, but I was able to piece together that it was a thank you. Um, but we're just so grateful for you. Thank you for being willing to sit down with us and just share your story. I just think your journey is an awesome one. It's exemplary. It's inspirational. It's a role model for others to follow. I mean, who does that in their 20s? They sacrifice, all these years of what at least in your 20s you believe to be the time of opportunity, and fun and going
Yes.
places, and you decided that priority was to take care of your loving grandfather. But you said it best though. You said, hey, this is the one who woke you up. Now, was it because you were in the room with him? You stayed with him when he was doing all this
Y-
calling?
We Yes, he lived right downstairs from me. My grandparents lived right downstairs from me. And so I
Oh,
would wake
yes,
up and get to
yes.
see them every day. Yes.
Oh, how awesome, how privileged that is to have your grandparents so close and in your life. But that's awesome. But he set the path. Um, he set the tone, and he instilled in you a love that you never forgot that. So when it came time for him to be taken care of, and it's funny that you mentioned, I've kind of been there before too with taking care. I took care of my great uncle, which was my grandfather's brother, and you know, when you talk of, sometimes older folks they can get a little mean and nasty every now and then. What happened to that loving uncle that I had? Where did he go? Because they could say some things,
Yes.
but you sound like you look like you reminiscing. You could just recall some of those situations,
Mhm.
but in the end, you know that they do love you. They're just dealing with some things, and they invested in you. They paved the way, and
Yes.
so you're so happy to give back. Wow, wow! Thank you, Bria, again for sitting down with us. Bria Johnson, everyone. It was just great having you here this evening, and we just want God to
Thanks.
continue to bless
Great to
you.
be here.
We want Him to continue to bless you as you continue to give Him praise. Just keep giving Him praise along your journey. Don't stop doing that. And we're looking forward to witnessing you show us what God can do in your life. And so we also want to
Thank you.
just say thank you for tuning in tonight. And we hope you'll join us again for another broadcast of TRP Live. Remember to like, share, subscribe to stay in the know of upcoming broadcasts and events. And my final message to you tonight is, oh, the depths of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments, and how unfathomable his ways. For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be glory forever. Amen. Until next time.